You're trying to develop marketing for your company or if it's for your own business, and you're stuck. You have a general idea of what you want to do. It's not that you have no direction, but for whatever reason, you're just staring at a blank page. I mean, you're in front of your computer and you just can't think of how to pull it all together. And you think to yourself, it would be great if I just had someone to brainstorm with to sort of help me get going on this. Maybe share a few new ideas. It's so difficult when you're trying to do these things on your own. And so many of us find ourselves in that position these days. More and more people are solopreneurs. Um, More people work remotely. People are in one person departments. By and large, we're trying to do it all alone. And it's not that the workload is too much. I mean, sometimes it's a lot. But really, what it comes down to is you need that interaction. You need to be able to discuss with somebody else at least once in a while. Brainstorm a little bit. What do you think of this? Can you take a look at this? Does it make sense? It's really difficult to try and just 100% work on your own. And realistically, most of us are not going to be getting any extra headcount. If you're running your own business, you're probably trying to keep budget tight. And if you're working for a company, they're trying to keep budget tight. So realistically, it's going to be a lot of people working on their own and trying to figure out how to get it done. So I think that when we look at it realistically, elevating your marketing is not really a lack of information about marketing. It's not having that one-to-one support. Whether it's someone senior who's working with you, or whether it's someone on the same level, or even someone who's junior to you, just someone to bounce ideas off of, just to be able to brainstorm, to be able to decide, to execute. It's so much easier when somebody is working with you. I'm Jane Singer, a multimedia entrepreneur, and in this podcast series, I take you behind the scenes in media and marketing so that you can learn what it takes to build real authority in a competitive market and get your seat at the table. I mean, trying to build stronger marketing programs, especially in B2B, without a team around you really feels like an uphill battle. I mean, even when you know what you should be doing, it's still hard to make progress. You're staring at a blank page, you're second guessing your ideas, you're wondering what is actually working for other companies. You keep meaning to build something better, but then there's no one really to help you, no one to talk it through. There's, no peer feedback. It's really hard to move forward and it's exhausting. You don't know what to do and you feel frustrated. And it looks easy and you simply just don't know what to do or how to get going. To that has been what we call office hours. Now, I participated in a fair number of marketing groups because I'm always keen to learn more. And I noticed that some of them offered something called office hours, where once a week or twice a week, depending upon the program, you could log on. It was essentially a Zoom call. In some cases, you submitted your questions in advance. In other cases, you brought them up on the fly. But the point was, it wasn't just a Q&A, okay? It was able to say, I'm working on this and I'm stuck. I'm trying to come up with an idea, let's say for a webinar, and I'm thinking of this or this. What does anybody think might be better? Or typically, the person who's leading that group, it would be either the teacher or the marketing mentor or the coach or whatever they call themselves. The person who's doing some of the other teaching within that membership or course or whatever would be answering questions, but they would also oftentimes open that question up to the other people in the group. So you get a little bit of group brainstorming and feedback. And you'd be surprised how useful it is because you're talking about people who are not your competitors. So they're not competitors from another company and they're not competitors within the same company, right? It's not like someone else who's vying to get your job. It's really useful to be able to bring that forward and say, here's what I'm working on. Could I get some feedback? I came up with this headline. Does this mean anything to anybody? Or do I just think it makes sense because I know what I'm talking about in my own head, but if someone else sees it, it doesn't make sense? Or, what do you think of this design on this website? What might I improve? And they're not going to go into a very long, hour-long discussion of your particular situation because it is a group kind of a thing. However, it can just get you unstuck and moving forward, and you're getting feedback on one aspect of what you're doing. Obviously, if you need someone to take a deep dive and really like run through your entire website, or look at your critique your entire marketing brochure, or take a look at a marketing program that you've put together, well, in that case, you're talking about a one-on-one, either working together or consulting or coaching, or whatever. That's a one-on-one kind of a thing. But the difference between that and being able to be part of this group, if you've joined the membership that, that's hosting it, um, massively beneficial. I have, like I said, I've always found that to be useful. Obviously, you have to choose the right one. Not saying that everyone out there is beneficial, but I found it really good. And I liked it so much that I actually added that on to courses that I teach. I have a couple of digital courses, online courses, teaching people how to do podcasting and how to start their own newsletters, gaining visibility, gaining authority. And so I added on the opportunity for people to join that co-working, right? As well as, the marketing mentorship program that I have, which is really about giving even a little bit more support to people who are trying to do, build their marketing programs on their own. And the point is that not only does it benefit the people who join the program, but I actually learn a lot because I'm starting to see things through their eyes, and I'm starting to understand, okay, that makes me rethink some of what I'm doing in the projects that I work on. So it is very beneficial. And I really, like I said, I think that if you are trying to do something solo and you find that you're stuck, look around and see if you can find this sort of a group that you can join. Yes, you have to pay to join them, typically, right? Either you've paid because you're part of a membership that includes this, or you've, like I said, signed up for a course and it includes this. But some of them you can just join a membership for people who are business executives and are looking for this kind of co-working support, and office hours and feedback. Um, and it's really beneficial. It's really, I highly recommend it. I mean, I find that I get a lot out of it. And like I said, when I added this on to what I was doing with some of the courses, I found that I even get value out of, like I say, leading these group discussions. I'm learning from what people are asking, and it's really, it's interesting. And you come off of these calls and you feel re-energized. You feel suddenly excited to get back to working on what seemingly was just sitting there on your desk and not moving forward. And now you've gotten a few things done and you have a few ideas. And then you look forward to getting back onto that call, whether it's once a week or twice a week or whatever. And then you get to know some of the people there. It's actually quite good. And I think, and the reason I'm bringing it up and doing this podcast about it is because I think it's highly overlooked. I think we don't think about this. We don't think that, maybe we don't even know it exists. Right? I didn't know it exists until I actually, during the pandemic, joined a marketing program because I was stuck in the house and nowhere to go. I figured, okay, it's a great opportunity to sign up for online learning. And so I did, and it included office hours. I'd never heard about that. And it was fantastic. And ever since then, I've always, when I have the possibility to do it, now I have to travel a lot, so it's quite difficult. But when I have the opportunity, yeah, I think that's been really helpful. And so that's why I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention here and say, have a look around and see what might be out there. You'd be surprised. It could be a worthwhile investment. Hope it's been helpful. If you want more information on marketing and getting visibility, getting your seat at the table, head on over to our website at seat.fm. We have lots of podcasts over there and a fair number of other resources. So if you have a moment, take a look. I'm Jane Singer, and I will see you in the next episode.